You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to see the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waste. From deep within the core, frozen atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 510th edition of the Fallout feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, I've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Hello, hello.
And also Jess. What is going on, Jess?
Kapow. Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
Kapow. Tonight on the show, sorry for stepping on your greets. Tonight we have some gameplay off the top of the show. A terminal velocity from Mr. Solior. Thank you, sir. A game time. We're keeping with our generic beverages theme we've been going with. So we'll be visiting Mount Coke or Mount Don't. Iguana Bits. We've got some good, tasty, chunky news coming up. And a few shouts on our way out the door. So why don't we go ahead and roll right in and say, hey, Jess, did you get a chance to play any video games this week?
You know, one thing that's difficult to do when you don't have power is play video games. We had a slightly delayed episode and no episode last week. So for those who aren't in Discord, yeah, we were without power for like 24 hours.
Fuck it. Like, am I Amish? Right?
Are you now? Like, did you convert?
I
How
might
was that
be.
stick and ball?
At least Mennonite. Yeah, me and the ball and paddle game had a grand old time. And, okay, the fucked up part was, right, see? Okay, get this, you guys. Sit back, lean into this story. I'm sort of a grumpy guy who, you know, when company comes over for long periods of time, I'm just like, yeah, come on. Don't wear out your welcome, right?
Right.
Because I'm sort of like, at least on the show, I seem like this really nice, fun, outgoing guy, but I'm really an introverted guy, and I have my space, and I like my space. But Tori's cousin is a extremely extroverted person who just like dominates every room he's in.
Were they visiting when the power went out, or did you guys get together?
So they were on their way down. So no, okay. The night they were going to come down, I saw that Indiana's supposed to have extreme weather and tornadic activity and, you know, like maybe baseball size hail. And so I'm like, okay, Tori, you need to call your cousin, tell him we're expecting severe weather tonight, so they might not want to come down. So she calls him, tells him in the morning, said, oh yeah, they're fine with that. And then they're on their way and our power goes out. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the only good thing that could be the result of a power outage, right? Little peace and quiet. Oh no. Oh no. That did not deter them at all. They were 10 minutes away from their house on their way down, so that was too far to turn back.
10 minutes away. The entertainment was en route, Andrew.
So, I know it was really great to have him because he's a super helpful guy, super handy, helped me fix a few things around the house. But like in the middle of a 24-hour blackout at our house, wouldn't you like if someone called you, you're on the way to someone's house and they called and warned you, oh hey, you're on your way here to stay, but you know we have no power, and they have like a less than 6-month-old baby too. They're just like, sure, we're coming on that. Like,
So I was going to ask what games you play to entertain yourself.
that
in.
is the great thing I was just about to mention.
Okay.
We're in the land of modern era gaming with, you know, Mo's cousin, who's 3 or 4 years older than him, had what's that thing that Baker has? The PC
Oh, the
handheld?
Steam Deck. Yeah.
He had the Steam Deck. Mo had the Switch. I was playing DS. His dad was playing on some game on his phone. I was like, okay, we don't have power, but we're all sitting here playing video games without power anyway. It's pretty sweet still. Nintendo, all the handheld devices kind of saved the day a little bit.
That's good while it lasts. That's very cool. And you can get your shelter in, of course.
Yeah, and we did do the thing where we went out to the car to charge our devices, like leave the car running and plug in a power strip into a power thing, and then plug in the computer and 4 phones and the 2 laptops. It's just like trying to get our devices back powered up again, just because You think we never had any power outage that long. It always had been like a blip for 20, 30 minutes at a time. 24
Right.
hours, over 24 hours. That was our first time with that. And we were just like, oh, it'll be back in 20 minutes. Whatever.
Yeah, it's pretty cray. We get that sometimes with ice storms, like especially back in Maine. The longest I ever went was about 3.5, 4 days in an ice
Oh
storm.
my God, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, when we first moved to Georgia, we lost power for 4 days.
Oh
Pretty
my
intense.
God.
Hurricane related, probably.
No, it was ice storm.
Wow.
Yeah, the Super Bowl was that weekend, and that's the famous shot of the trash truck sliding down the main street in Atlanta sideways. And they said, "Okay, this is why we're canceling the Super Bowl."
Yeah, that is pretty extreme. But needless to say, we put out last week's episode a little bit late, so we only had a little bit of a gap. And now we're back here for episode 510.
I assumed there were just people clamoring and sitting in the corner shaking with going through withdrawals from Fallout feed for
You gotta figure.
and all the work productivity that took a dive because they couldn't listen to us while they
I would
worked.
like to apologize to the American economy for our effect and the downfall of our productivity coefficient. That's just, I'm sorry.
The peanut gallery is chiming in. Slimy Roast was actually in withdrawal. Slimy's with us tonight, and Rando says he only cried twice, which isn't too bad. And I'm sure both times he was mostly thinking about Rara, still stuck rotting in that vent. She's still there, isn't
rotting in the vent. She might be bones by this point, you guys. I'm sorry. She doesn't even stink anymore.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Rats got to her.
Don't start a quest to save a child with your round table character if you're not going to finish it. When the round table's done.
I did the thing. It's like, oh, I need to do the rah-rah thing, but then all of a sudden I'm a ghoul, so I have to do this costume thing. Now I'm all distracted and doing two quests that don't really go together well.
Yeah, we had a little conversation about that. I think last week, people were talking about super mutants again. Why are they all male? And of course, the answer is they're not. Just the FEV, when it causes all the weird growth and mutation, also gets rid of pretty much secondary sex characteristics. So Gale, for instance, Rah-Rah's super mutant mother, is a girl, and Graham is a guy.
Yeah.
They all seem masculine because of the deep voice and the gruffness. And
I know they're all created, but are they sterile? Can they reproduce? Are there baby?
They're sterile. Yeah, I believe that's why after super mutants were created, there are only so many still living. From like the more intelligent super mutants that the Master created, for instance, there are only so many of them, and as they die off, there are less and less. Yeah, exactly. More can be made, but FEV isn't unlimited. And there aren't that many scientists who necessarily know how to work with it or create more, right? So, especially when you get super mutants making super mutants, like in Fallout 3.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
Is that what happened? Oh, no.
Because they took over Vault 87 and they were kidnapping people and dipping them, but they were running low on the green stuff.
Is that Fox?
That is where Fox came from.
They have some. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But there was some tradition there, too, in that while Fallout 4, you never really had super mutants that would talk, besides, Virgil, of course. But the majority of them that came from the Institute, they were probably the dumbest of dumb super mutants we've met. Whereas in Fallout 3, with the group from 87 still, you had some. Was it Uncle Leo? Is that his name? Wandering around? Obviously, you had Fox. There were a few that could speak a little more thought.
Hello, Jerry. That's
yeah, no, that was Uncle Leo.
Uncle Leo.
Is that his name? If you never met him, he's an interesting super mutant. Yeah, he's out there wandering the roads, finding his path, kind of like Graham in a way.
Your cousin Jeffrey is high up at the Pox department. Very impressive.
Yeah. Oh, they're mentioning Lily Bowen too, of course. Lily, otherwise, affectionately known as your grandma, who is the Nightkin in New Vegas. That's the companion. Obviously, she was a girl too. But there are plenty.
Were Nightkin only in New Vegas?
No, they come from the earlier games, but we haven't had them on the 3, 4, or 76.
4 or 76 at all, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. No, they were an invention out west.
Is there reference to them in the modern Bethesda games?
I feel like they were referenced at least once in something Fallout 4 related, but it might have been a mod.
I just wasn't sure if that lore hit the editing floor or whatever.
Oh no, still perfectly valid. Just something that was experimented on with the Master's army and not outside of that.
Have they had to do anything like that because of the show where some common piece of Fallout standard lore has had to sort of go to the wayside because of the show, or did
Well,
they
we'll
bend
probably
anything?
we'll probably see a little bit more of that potentially with next season. We're all kind of hoping not. Don't tread on my lore, please. I don't want them revising too much. We were talking about that the other day.
That's a new flag with a snake curled up. he's got a book or something.
Don't
in
tread
his
on my
hand.
lore,
My
exactly.
lore.
But it's funny. We were just talking about how, like in Brotherhood of Steel, remember we were talking about balls the other day, the drink that in Fallout lore, if you take Fallout Brotherhood of Steel down in Texas, they had an exclusively balls guarana instead of Nuka-Cola for the most part. Little things like that have gone by the wayside. BOS isn't really canon anymore. We've talked extensively about things that they've changed, you know.
Con is all about is balls.
That 24 pack of balls was pretty good. Balls. That's the thing that QuakeCon is all about.
So what is it? It's an energy drink or something, right?
Yeah, kind of like cola. It's flatter than regular like Coke. Tastes a little bit like Jolt Cola.
Nice. If I gathered it correctly from the clip, did they have a Dragon Con specific flavor or something?
It was for QuakeCon. And no, but
QuakeCon, sorry.
it's the official drink of QuakeCon. Remember, that's the clip you got there was from when I won a case of it. And they shipped me a case of 24 bottles of balls.
24 bottles.
Yeah.
24 balls in your face.
More balls than a person could handle, one at a time. Thank you. But I mean, they were glass bottles. Like it was a
Oh, that
pretty
must
heavy
have
thing to
been,
ship.
yeah, the shipping on that was crazy.
Yeah, and I was one of probably like 4 or 5 people who won them. So
That's amazing.
And to help the people at home, it's BAWLS.
yes. Anyway, we should probably get to the game. So, continuing the trend of last episode, I've been playing a lot of Oblivion mostly. We won't get too deep into it. I know we've been the Oblivion feed for a couple of weeks now, to a greater or lesser extent. But I went from like level 8 to level 20, so I got plenty in.
You guys level so much fucking faster than I do. I've even bumped my difficulty up a couple times just to try to like.
That won't change your XP.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it actually just makes it harder. So you're going to level slower.
Oh. Well, it didn't seem to be going very fast when I was on the easiest setting. So I was like, well, maybe it'll go faster. If I make it harder, I get more XP.
So, okay. So the thing to remember here is that it's based on how you level your skill. So I guess technically when it's harder, you'll swing your blade more. So maybe you would level a little faster because you're swinging your blade twice as much. What do you think,
Yeah,
Reed?
it
Is
takes
that
twice as
logical?
long to kill things. They get twice as much XP. Or, I mean, HP, not XP. Sorry, HP. Right?
Yeah, right. They get more
If you
HP,
make
so
it
you swing
harder
more.
where they get more HP, so it takes more damage. Do you do less damage?
With the way it's set up and remastered, it does
indirectly,
both.
probably. Right.
It,
Okay.
it's horrible. The level scaling is bad. just play on Adept, or if you want a cakewalk, play on one of the easier settings.
I'm on medium right now, whatever that is.
Yeah,
What is
medium's
medium?
decent. That's what I play on. That's the normal. I mean, you can do expert, but they do what is it, Ray? They do 3 times damage,
Oh,
and you do like 75%.
Oh, rough.
Yeah, if that, yeah, it's really low.
It's bad. But so last time we did the show, I was kind of on the edge because technically I was putting off leveling up past level 8 until after I did Kvatch in the main story. Because if you're too high level, when you go in and do that first Oblivion Gate, save Kvatch and all that, then you go in and you have to help Martin and then you help kind of recover. And you get to make it to the castle, clear out all the Daedra in there. That's technically a side quest after the main gate, but still, it's kind of all connected. You usually do them around the same time. And they can get really, really tough if you're too high level. And all the people you're helping, they're going to die on the way. So I was saving till I did that. So once I got that done, then I let myself level. I slept like 3-4 times in a row and I got to level 12. I've been putting it off for a while.
Yeah, that's something I forget about too. Is you have to sleep in order to level up. That's such a weird concept to me. Is that a common thing?
It has happened in other games. So you kind of sleep and rest,
Yeah.
and that's your chance to level up going back to camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of the era that it was from. That was more of a thing.
Okay.
Like survival mode, sleep to save. It is more of a classic thing. A lot of the old games, you had to make camp and sleep in order to rest, regain XP, like older games. And it was kind of right in the middle of that, right? Oblivion is the first of the modern Bethesda era, as we think of it. So I got a bunch of levels there. But one tip, which at this point, we've all been playing, it's been a couple of weeks, but I talked about it in chat and a couple of people tried it too. After you finish saving Kvatch and you going through the Oblivion Gate, you come back, you go into Kvatch and you meet Martin, talk to him there, get him to follow you there while you're still in Kvatch instead of letting him leave and go to the safety of the camp to pick up later, because his spells are tough. So then you can talk to the captain. You can finish clearing out Kvatch with Martin with you the entire time. And that will make it so very few guards die because he's tough, especially compared to wherever you're at the time. He's much tougher. He's got high level spells and stuff. So that's good. Actually, I found we might not really have companions in the same way in Oblivion, but bringing people along with us, I have been doing it a bit, but I did enough to kind of get to like the first third done of the main quest. But then I went and I got Prior Mayborl's horse, which you can buy horses at any stable. I went with the Priors because it's the free horse you get easily at Wayne Priory at the beginning. And then I went to the stable, the one just outside of the Imperial City, and got my horse some armor. Did you armor your horse, Ray, at all? Any of them?
The one time I had a horse, yeah. I went and got the free armor from the orc in Imperial City stables.
That's good. You can choose your type of armor. My horse is all decked out in elven armor. What is great is my horse is now, I hate to say it, but my horse is kind of bait, So I don't ride the horse a lot. When I'm going someplace tough, I might ride the horse and I might get off and position between me and the enemy, start shooting to drag the enemy, and then he gets distracted by the horse and it lets me beat him. But I did that with the quest with the brothers in Coral too. There are a couple there, but there's the one everyone does with the brothers. They want to reclaim the farm. You bring them there. If you take and you drop your horse right in the middle of the field there, a lot of the goblins coming in will attack him. Brothers will live. It's a great strategy. I use that with the ogres at Weatherly too, but he can tank a lot. So far, my horse is very tanky. I like that.
Sweet.
If he pulls a dog meat on me, I'll be very sad. I don't want my horse to die, but I do like using him as a tank, so I'm kind of walking the line right now.
Dogmeat died? What?
Yeah, in Fallout 3, back when Dogmeat could die.
Fallout 3, right? Okay.
It sticks with you, okay? You lose a dog meat, it sticks with you. It's like we were talking in Discord again a couple days ago about Artax and the never-ending story. You remember the trauma of that, right, Andrew?
The people who were just at my house.
Oh.
The baby that is 6 months old is named Atreyu.
No way. Okay. I'm sorry. Cousin just went way up in my book. That's pretty awesome.
What? Get out of my house.
But yeah. So it sticks with you. Anyway, so my horse has been great bait. That's been a big help in a lot of these quests. But I did stuff around Coral. I had already done most of Anvil. I have gone and done most of Skingrad. Just a couple anecdotes there. So everyone knows the Paranoia quest. One of the cooler quests in the game. It's iconic, I should say. It sticks with you, where you meet the elf Glarthir. And there are a bunch of ways the quest can go and end.
Glarthir?
Glarthir. So he is a bit paranoid and he thinks there are people following him. And so he gives you a quest each day where you got to go see what these people are up to and report back to him at midnight behind the chapel. And it's an interesting quest, and I'm not going to spoil it. I mean, most people listening have done it or know, but if you haven't, I won't. There are things that can happen depending on how you handle the quest. But after you do the following and you report back to him, you've got to kill time till you can meet him at midnight, and you've got to kill time before you can follow the person the next morning. So what I was doing to level up would be I'd talk to him and go back to the chapel, and I would just go in a circle around all the pillars, crouching and casting my whatever spell I'm trying to level up, and do that for like 3 or 4 hours a game. Like not real time 3 or 4 hours, but like 4 hours game time. Just like walking and crouching. And Ray, it was a great way to level my sneak. And I leveled restoration.
Did you sneak and rubber band your controllers to do that?
Well, in classic Oblivion, you could sneak against the walls pretty easily. In this one, you seem to stop walking if you try to sneak against most walls. There might be some spots where you can do it. Really, have you, Ray?
Yeah. Fortunately, on PC, you've got an auto walk key. And as long as you don't, if you like pop into the menu to check, it'll stop. But I think it might have been in Shadenhall. I was working on Dark Brotherhood, and I needed to go do something, and so
ditches for half hour. You can just
I put him into a corner right at the gate underneath the guard, and when I came back, he had gone up like 9 or 10 sneak levels.
See, that's great. But did your feet keep moving? Because on Xbox, I'm finding my feet stop moving if I walk against a wall compared to what they would do in old Oblivion.
Well, yeah, so the animation does, but you're still moving. The way you can test it is when you start a character, if you walk against the wall, in the jail cell, you'll start leveling sneak.
Clever. Okay. No, that
If
makes
you're not
sense.
moving.
I didn't trust it with my feet stopping moving, so I hadn't done that. The great thing about this is you can do it in a circle around the chapel. You've got all these pillars. You get the benefit of sneaking around multiple people, but the pillars constantly let you go back into sneak mode. It's great. So you walk in circles and then you cast whatever spell you want to do, like level restoration. I might do detect life, or that one. That one kind of has a bit of a flash. There's another heal one that I was doing, and you can level illusion with your light spell. You can keep casting feather to level up your alteration. And so I got all my base magic skills during this quest to level 50 journeyman, alteration, restoration, all of that.
Nice. I did have one where got where I was walking against a pillar in a church and
Church.
came back and the eye was really big. And I'm like, oh, somebody sees me. So I stopped and turned, and this female high elf character was standing there. You could almost see her hands on her hips. And she was just looking at me like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, they can be so sus. It bothers me. I'm a member in good standing of the Fighters Guild. Every Fighters Guild you go into, the porter is all up on there. He's like, what you doing? He like pretty much nose to your butt. He's like just running around right on you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I got
Of course, he's just there,
card
in
borrow.
case you need something repaired. But
Yeah, I'll repair my own stuff. Thank you. Although one of our friends, Calm Horizon, isn't repairing at all. Like they actually use repair services. Too expensive. I'd rather level up my armor and do repair. But so
Yeah.
I did that. And besides that was then during the day, I would do other quests after I did some following. So I did like the Mages Guild and the quest there to go to a cave nearby. I did Darien grabbing your roots and get all the Nern root. There's another quest or two in the area that sends you just right nearby up north. The Fighters Guild one, of course, you got to deal with your buddy Maglier. There's a lot to do around Skinnograd, so I cleaned that up, and that was fun. But I thought that was a fun way to level those skills while still doing stuff around town. So I've only been to, I guess, 4 of the towns. I still haven't been to Bravo at all. I haven't been to Bruma at all, and I haven't been to Leowin, although I'm about to go to Leowin. So that's where I am in Old Oblivion. Still, even though I'm level 20, and things are getting pretty good. My highest skills are armor, and my alchemy is up to like 76 or 77 now. I'm doing really good on alchemy. But you stop getting the funky level up messages around level 20. And like in the old game, by the time you're 20 to 30, you'd be pretty much finishing the game by 30. And now I'm level 20, and I still feel like I'm in the first like 25% of the game because I'm not in the Arcane University yet. I haven't touched Thieves. I haven't touched Dark Brotherhood. I have done stuff around Chaden Hall. I did the basic court quest there with the Captain of the Guard. I did the Painter quest, which the Painter quest effect in the Remakester, really good. You probably did that one a couple times, Ray, right?
no,
Oh, you haven't? That's one of my fave side quests. I found some new side quests in this that I hadn't seen before, so that's been really fun. Oh, the other thing that I'm doing that I really need to get over is you get encumbered pretty easily, and especially before I kind of reach the level I'm at now, I was getting cucumbered a lot. My strength is up to 100 at this point, so I can finally carry more, but I couldn't for a while. I was refusing to drop everything. So in that first Oblivion gate, like around Kavash, I was cucumbered the entire time. The very first room, they're dropping those Daedric maces, and I'm refusing to drop them. So I'm just like crawling through the gate. I did that a couple times. I was getting the mace outside Anvil, that cool mace, Rock Shatter. I did that entire dungeon at a crawl, but I'm refusing to drop stuff. I'm sorry.
You gotta have principles.
Money. I need money. I'm desperate for money. I'm, finally, with all my potion maxing, I'm doing better now, but sheesh, it was taking a while. Yeah, the best tip for potion maxing is grab every bit of food you come across. Pick all the flowers, all the shrooms, all the fungi, and you can just craft so many potions. You know, just get that stuff with you. Either keep your crafting stuff in a chest, or just keep it on you if you don't mind the extra weight. It's so worth it. If you go to Skinnograd, if you go to like the vineyard outside Surly Brothers and Tamika Vineyards on the west, grab all the grapes. Then go over to the tomato farm on the east side, the northeast side, just out the east gate. Between those two, you can make a good 100 potions. Sell them all. You're leveling alchemy, you're getting gold, and then you're leveling your barter when you sell them. Make sure to always haggle. And it really helps. Beyond that, did a lot of Starfield this last week and a half too. With Starfield, it was mostly trying new mods and getting new mods running, trying to make them play well together because there were some conflicts. Some things were not playing nice with each other, but I do think the update that just happened did clear some of that out. And I got in the habit where I'm finding on Xbox, I just really have to go in, add and update all the mods I want, but then disable mods, close out of the game, load back in, and enable them. But right now it's running really well, and I'm enjoying some of the new mods that have come out for Starfield. Really excited. We just had an update. And then the other games I played, they did a fun thing on Game Pass. They just did for everybody who has Game Pass, you got the Retro Classics free. So it's a game you can install that essentially it's an arcade. And kind of like the old Rare Replay or Atari 50, it's just got a bunch of old games in it. And this one is specifically for Activision stuff. It's called Retro Classics. And so you get stuff that they and Sierra made for the PC, for the Atari, for the Commodore, and a few other systems in there. And so I went through and I played a bunch. Some of those Atari games, I was completely shamed. They were hard. And there is no win screen, really. Like, you finish and the game just like, you won. Like,
Start over, bitch. Do it again.
Yeah.
I dare you.
Atari Tennis. Did you know? I mean, like, if you beat the computer, if you beat a full round of tennis, you could send in your score and they would send you an official Atari Tennis patch because it was that hard to actually win a full set.
I bet you that's a collector's item and a half right now.
I'm sure it is.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, needless to say, I tried a few rounds. I was skunked. The computer skunked me every round.
Yeah, they'll smoke you, dude. They're unforgiving. Games were brutal back then.
Mm-hmm. And what I found compared to some of the other older Atari games that I play is that the Activision ones were not my favorite. There were a few fun ones in there. Pole Position was in there, for instance. Pole Position is a good classic. I do like that.
Pole Position's sweet.
And some of the Sierra games that are in there, they actually have, remember we talked about Police Quest and Space Quest just a month or two ago?
Yeah.
They actually have one of the Police Quest and one of the Space Quest in the bundle. They had Zork because Activision owned the rights to the Zork franchise. But trying to play those on console when they're designed for PC, also rough. They tried to make it so it worked, but it didn't really. You don't want to type with a controller, go north on your controller every time. Look at dog. No, not the best. That was my major gameplay bit. For Fallout, I guess last episode I didn't do the 76 event much. I did do a couple runs of that, of course. Did the flowers, did the pickin', did the big booms. It was a good time. It was definitely crazy. A lot of explosions in the Big Bloom event. But I got maybe half the plans. I got all the important ones. And Invaders now, the aliens are coming. So pop in and get that. There's some fun stuff in the Atom Shop. And I should mention now, even though it'll be in Iguana Bits, the season is done in a week and a half. So June 3rd, the Gone Fishing update will come. And I think it's season 21 is the next season. And we've got a week and a half notice on that, y'all. So if your score is not up there yet, if you're like me and only at like 71, get in there and get her done.
Get her done.
Mm-hmm. But that's it for my gameplay.
Well, alrighty. Thank you. Hey, before we go to Ray's gameplay, I just had a quick question for you, Jess. I'm looking at your viral meme of the 1947, 2024, 2077 popular beverages.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What happened in 2024 to the United States state structure?
Okay, so I'm above all things. I like making a joke, but above all things, I'm a lore nerd.
Fucking New Mexico absorbed Arizona.
This is Fallout lore. It was so 1947. The United States had the regular state structure in lore, but in 1969,
this is what was happening in Fallout.
Yeah, in 1969 is when they voted to redistrict into 13 Commonwealths in the U.S.
That was in 1969, really?
Summer of 69. That's when it happened.
At 13?
Mm-hmm.
Have they covered that in the show at all? That's pretty cool shit.
They haven't really talked about it, but that's why I mentioned that technically, the majority of them are actually Commonwealths in Fallout lore.
Ohio and Kentucky are one thing. Indiana, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Minnesota are all one unit. That's pretty sweet.
Now, technically within them, there was some state structure preserved, but each Commonwealth had someone in charge as well. Yep.
That's cool.
It was a different subdivision. So that was kind of my nod on the map to that. That even though I used actual US data for that, I used the Fallout structure and then I kept it on the 2077. It was like the first one is real US information. The last one is real Fallout information. The one in the middle, actually, technically, I did use real poll data for these, by the way, too. But the one in the middle, the poll data was actually from 2019. I just made it 2024 because that's when I did the meme.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the version circling now is 2025 because they slapped 2025 over it.
Oh, you're like, thanks?
Yeah. Could you at least use the same font? It's skinny too.
Holes. Do you know
They
how long
tried.
it took me to pick the font? Jerks.
Nah, it's all good. They just don't know official Fallout fonts. They wouldn't recognize Futura if it bit them in the butt.
Yeah. I'd noticed the strange shapes. I was like, what the fuck is going on in 2024? And then I forgot, oh, it's the Fallout map. Well, very cool. Good piece of lore there. Well, so let's check in with Ray. See what Ray's been getting into this week. Do you have a chance to play any video games, sir?
It was 2 weeks. I played an absolute crap ton of video
2
games.
weeks. Oh my God. Did you play a crap ton of video games or did you play a crap ton of a video game?
Well, yeah, I played a lot of video games and a crap ton of one video game.
Oh, nice. So let's hear a little bit about both then.
But yeah, I was hankering to get back into Starfield. So trying to come up with an idea of what might be fun. And I hadn't done a bounty hunter in a long time. Many interesting ways to Preston Garvey, the woman that tries to get you to join the Trackers Alliance. But I mean, she, there is at no point that she stops trying, no matter how many times you ignore her. And so it's funny to watch her travel all over the place looking for you. But the other thing was I wanted to do a pistol build because I hadn't done, I got so hooked on the Kodama that I wanted to keep myself away from that. So I'm doing pistols only. And so I downloaded a couple of mods. One, since I didn't want to have to use the Nova Blaster to stun people, I loaded a mod that turns the Nova Light into an EM weapon. And so now I've got my EM pistol. Then I also loaded one of the TN mods that changes the Laredo guns into plasma pistols.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Well, even the rifles are plasma, but my main thing was the pistols. So that's been fun. Also trying to stay away from Vessel 3B.
Yeah, you don't want to level up anymore.
And so I wanted to find a place on, Keela.
Okay.
So that I could live there.
Actually on Aquila itself or one of the moons? Okay.
No, on the planet itself. So I spent quite a bit of time doing that, but the reality that my bulk of my game time was in Oblivion.
Was Oblivion still, yeah.
So I did the stream on the ASA podcasting channel of my Mad Jack character going through the final Oblivion gate. So that was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I don't know how to, with my current software, I don't know how to retitle a video. And so the description is that it's a Starfield video.
Yeah, if you go by the ASA podcasting Twitch channel, it's the Starfield video is Oblivion. Enjoy.
Yeah. But that was so much fun to just go through there, punching everybody's lights out.
Your Mad Jack character is great. I love that you based him on the Fallout Mad Jack character from Fallout London. And
from Fallout
cool.
London.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. So Fudge Muppet just released a video today for their monk build. And if you just take the magic out of it, you've got Mad Jack.
Mm-hmm.
So they do the whole thing with just running around in pants and just jacking up your strength and your block so that you can just go through and just punch the lights out on everything.
I know you talked about it a little bit on Skyrim Addict, but is it a viable build? Like, do you find that it really is viable?
Well, I mean, you can watch the Oblivion Gate video.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There was one of the Dremora, gave me a little bit of trouble. So since I'd never done the quest before, I had no idea how it was involved. And so, when the gate first opens up, I just charged in, and all of a sudden, I've got all these Daedroths coming after me. And since I ran up, I was the focus of everybody's attack.
Mm-hmm.
And so nobody else was having to do anything. But then, of course, I died. So I finally, on the third try, I realized, okay, I need to change tactics. I need to just stand back, let them start to attack everybody else, and then come around behind and beat everybody up. And so that worked out.
Yeah, going hand to hand with a Daedroth That sounds difficult. Like alligator
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah, it's fine if it's one-on-one, but when there's three of them plus all the difference, it was a bit much.
Hmm.
So since that time, I started two other characters, an Argonian archer and a dark elf dagger assassin. And
Sweet.
so been having fun. So the archer is probably level 9 or 10. The assassin is close to 20. But I really wanted to do an orc warrior. And I thought, what different can I do? How about if all I do is grind his major skills?
Okay, only the major. Just focus on that.
Yeah, you end up with a lot of other minor skills just coming along with it. But, I wanted to get all my majors. So armor, blunt, conjuration, destruction, heavy armor, illusion, and restoration. And so I started out focused on the combat, and that was all at level 1. I didn't take any levels. So I got the blunt and heavy armor up to 100. So one of the things I did was I did the bound armor glitch.
Right. That's a good one. Once you're able to cast the various spells, or did you get scrolls for them?
No, you go to the rune stones.
So it's different stones that give you those.
Yeah.
I found 3 of that type. I've only gotten dagger and gloves from all 3 that I found.
Yeah, so there's 3 different types. So there's the Raymond, the Sidri, and the Hestra.
Okay. Mhm.
And each one gives you a different weapon and armor piece. And then I got the spell to cast for the greaves and the boots and did those. So
Very
I got a full set of bound armor. And so once I got all those leveled up, then I was going to start on the spell casting. And I really needed to do that because I needed the magicka to be able to cast higher level spells
Sure.
in order to level faster. So I'd start out with a novice level spell, get that up to level 50 and then make a new spell that was stronger and keep doing that as I went along. So the long and the short of it is, first off, I didn't realize that you could jump off Frostcrag Spire. And so now that's all I ever do is jump off the main tower.
What happens when you do that? What do you get from doing that?
You fall and then you land on the ground.
Uh-huh.
But it's fun.
I mean, it is. It is if you can survive.
You fly through the air and you see how far out you can jump. And
so you survive without dying?
Yeah.
And does it help you level any skills?
No.
Okay, just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun. But so once I got all my magic skills leveled up, I went ahead and did another sleep session. So the combat skills got me to level 14. The magic skills got me to level 29.
Wow. So pretty much 14 apiece.
Yep.
Or close to it. And you're doing that by leveling them all the way up and like the actual skills and then sleeping and see how many levels that gets you. That's really neat.
And so this guy hasn't done anything outside of the amulet quest.
Well, how do you entertain yourself when you're doing nothing? Like, I mean, I realize a lot of our gameplay, whether
Watch YouTube
Fallout or other
videos.
games. Okay, that's fair. So what are you doing to level them then? Like,
All the usual stuff.
all the usual grinding stuff.
Yeah, to level blunt, I went to the Periite Shrine and beat the crap out of the mages there. To level heavy armor,
You went and visited the rats and stuff and got
visited
bit?
the rats, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And got that in order to level. So one of the things you have to do, excuse me, so I got one of the destroy armor spells, and I made it into a self cast. So in order to level armor, I would destroy my own armor by casting a spell, over and over and over again. And that levels your destruction skill.
Right.
Then I would start, in with the repair hammers.
Right.
and get it all fixed up, and then cast.
Yeah, it's a good loop. It's a good loop for sure.
So, yeah. So now, I mean, I took him out for a spin through one of the alien ruins, the one just outside the sewer there. And because first off, I went there because I needed a battle axe.
Hmm.
And so once I got one of those, then I was set.
So before doing this, the highest level any of your characters had been was maybe like 17. But now doing this, you've hit level 29 just doing the grinding before you started adventuring. So you might have been trying to avoid Bessel 3B and Starfield, but it's like you did that again and just tried the max level character deal.
Yeah, and that's what I started thinking about was my level 200 Starfield character.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing the grind, nothing else. So it was fun, just kind of practice. Nothing serious about the character, but just trying out all the different techniques. You learn a lot that you can then transfer into other things that you do. You won't necessarily do all these things again on one character, but by running this character, you learn how to do stuff. Now the next thing, I've got to take that character through some Oblivion gates and kind of see how things work, because I only did the city gates with Mad Jack, and so I know that there's a lot more. I did kind of figure out that what I thought was doing Daedra Quest that started the Oblivion gates.
Yeah, that time we had them show up, right?
Yeah, they're just there. It just happened to be that on the first few characters that I did, I just never was anywhere where there was a actual gate pop up.
See, I thought the gates didn't really start appearing till after you did Kvatch, that you really wouldn't get any.
Yeah,
but you're saying you found a few that did.
Yeah. So now on some of the other characters, I've had them where they pop up in random spots.
I wonder if there's a change with the remakester then, because I do feel like, just like with dragons, you could have them never unlock if you never went to Kvatch.
No.
Besides that one, but maybe there's a point level or something.
Mad Jack is the only character that I've taken through Kvatch.
Right.
So, and then probably the main impediment to my gameplay time is that I've started construction on my new Paludarium.
Right.
And so, that takes up a lot of time, trying to do the construction and envision what I want it to look like and all that good stuff. So
you shared some progress pics, didn't you, in our pet channel?
Yeah, my latest shot of how the tank looks at this point.
And I'm sure most regular listeners know what a paludarium is and rad toads and all that, but if you want to quickly explain it.
So a paludarium is essentially a terrarium vivarium that also has an aquarium in it.
That's just really cool.
And so that's what this one is. And then with all of my searching for the next best mortar and pestle, it got me thinking about the giant one I've got in my kitchen cabinet. And so I busted that out and made some salsa in my molcajete.
Yum.
That was very delicious. And it's very cathartic to sit there and bash vegetables into submission.
Little real life alchemy. Did you make your fortify fatigue salsa?
Yeah. Yeah. It was quite yummy.
Awesome. Well, that about wraps up your gameplay for the week.
Yeah,
I know we haven't had much Fallout. Andrew, are you going to have any Fallout for us?
If you count Fallout Shelter, which, everyone should.
Always, right?
I mean, it's in the name.
It's everybody's favorite Fallout game. Well, I was sort of thinking of something else I wanted to try, and I recalled a Reddit thread, and I tried to look it up, but I couldn't track it down again. But I remember someone discussing efficiencies in Fallout Shelter regarding room sizes. And the point I remember was that the efficiency increased when you went from one room wide to two wide, but they were saying you have the same efficiency rate at two wide. It does not actually increase at the three wide. And then someone underneath that was saying see if I can recall the actual point. And I don't know, mathematicians, please prove this incorrect or correct. They were saying that because it doesn't increase the efficiency at 3, it actually becomes less efficient if it has the same efficiency at 2, because adding the same efficiency over a larger area actually decreases the efficiency because it's spread more thin. Does that make more
Right.
sense?
Yeah, because you have a limited number of room space that you can build.
Yeah, so they were saying that you don't actually get a benefit to making rooms 3 wide. You are as efficient as you're going to get at 2, so it's better to build more 2 rooms than waste it on ever having a third room. I just built all 2x2s, and to me, it seemed to be the exact opposite. I was getting my ass kicked forever, but I finally got a Mr. Handy, and now that I have one floor automated with each kind of thing that I need, you have 8 building spaces from edge to edge, and I usually do 3, 2, 3, and that only gives you 3 rooms edge to edge. But now that I'm doing 2 rooms, I can fit 4, so that means I can do the power, the water, and the food, which are the 3 main that you need, and I put my stem packs on that same floor. So everything that is produced and needs auto collected is all together. And now that I have an automated robot collecting it, one floor powers the whole fucking building so far. Like it is that much way more efficient. It is crazy
Wow.
how much, like, early on it felt like a hindrance, but now that I've automated, it seems like it's easily 10 times more efficient than having the 3-2-3 for some reason. And I don't know if people who play on PC can do this. I wish I could see the numbers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can PC people do that? Can you see the numbers and stuff? See what the calculations are, what the formulas are being used?
It's exactly the same as the one we have on Xbox. You can start to calculate it yourself, if you start to write down the numbers and do the math.
I am that nerdy, but I'm not that nerdy. Come on.
So it'd be interesting to see if the efficiency is actually in what can be collected versus is it really more efficient if you're having to click on the room to collect the stuff? If you have fewer rooms you have to click on.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair point too. But it's also a timing thing as well. I think the 3 wide takes significantly longer to produce than the 2 wide does. And that's the efficiency part, is that the 2 produces more quickly, but the 3 production produces more, but not a compound more to make it more efficient to go the extra long time. So if you have it automated and it's just constantly collecting, I just wish I could have the numbers. God damn it.
Yeah. That would be something that a spreadsheet should be able to solve for you, because you can tell how much you collect and you can tell how long it takes to collect.
You can see the time, so I can get a rate off of that, of course, and then compound, and compare those. Sure.
Yeah.
I could do all that. I'm sure someone's already done that. If I just search Reddit enough, I'm sure there's a spreadsheet of Fallout or statistics set up somewhere. There are some severe nerds out there, math, video game people who dig into this shit. I bet you I can find.
I don't see anything severe about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, and you might be one of them, Andrew. I've seen your
standard
notebook.
gaming.
That's just normal gaming, says Ray, who has a dry erase board with strings and newspaper articles pinned up like a crazy person.
Well, and a portfolio for each game I play.
You should see his library of notebooks on the wall. He has alphabetized by year of all the games Ray has ever played.
I mean, it's not that much. Probably just a shelf.
Yeah, because they're the thin portfolios. You get a lot of pages in those.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. It's really fun though.
In the old days, I used Moleskine, so
those are nice.
Any other games besides Fallout Shelter?
Oh God, nothing. No, I did play. I forgot to mention this a couple weeks ago. You were just talking about how much harder old games were, Jess.
Yeah, some of them for sure.
I forgot to mention it on the show, but a couple of weeks ago, when I just signed up for Game Pass and was playing a bunch of different games and everything, I downloaded all the
Bard's Tale collection, didn't
Bard's
you?
Tale. Yes, I downloaded Bard's Tale. And I played the first one. I was like, oh, cracking my knuckles. I'm going to play some Bard's Tale, get into this son of a... All right, I'm playing some Bard's Tale for the next month. I play it like 5 minutes. I'm like, holy shit, I cannot keep up with this. oh my God, reload, restart, new
You
party.
do have to level and grind,
party,
go back to the
party.
inn a lot. Yeah.
You go, okay. A new game like Fallout will say, okay, come over here. Look, there's some of these nice little rad roaches here. You don't even need a weapon. You just step on them, really. It's like, this is fun. There's a couple over here. You press B to do your action.
Yeah, there's a tutorial.
Yeah. Okay. There's all that. They hold your hand. They tell you what to do, how to do the thing, and they give you a really fucking easy bad guy to practice it out on. I started Bard's Tale. Okay, I've got my party. Let's go. Let's just go right next door, and I'm sure we'll find,
The
you know,
easy
a,
ones.
a spider, a
Mhm.
bug, something really easy to get. You walk in, it's like 3 werewolves. I'm like, what? God damn it.
Trounce you. Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck. So I seriously get demolished, like destroyed. I'm like, okay, is there a difficulty set? No difficulty settings. It's just you're gonna
Just
get your
have
ass kicked, bro.
Know when to run away. Yeah. Well, you can do the spiders, the orcs, or the goblins. I replayed Bard's Tale 2, I think it was, a couple years back. And I probably put a good 10 or 20 hours. I don't remember how much, but it was a serious try. And by the time I finished like the first major dungeon, I'm just like, no, no, I've had enough.
Oh, you were just talking about the Atari stuff, and that just reminded me how brutal it is. It is amazingly brutal. How
Well, I'm-
you're in the beginning level. You're seriously right where you started, and there's things that'll just fucking smash you.
yeah, and over time they got better. You know, they started adding more story. They started adding tutorials and instructions. But it used to be you had a whole instruction booklet and stuff that would kind of walk you through the first level or so. So if you kind of followed those couple pages, it really did help you. Like in Bard's Tale and Scarab Bray, and be like, okay, go here, do this. Make sure you buy these, and this is how you equip things. And there was kind of a tutorial, but it was all in the book. It's not in the game, so it's different.
Just reminded me of one of the most glorious half hours that any kid could have had in my realm growing up is after getting the video game, the drive from the store on the way home where you got to read the little book that came with you. Games don't come with fucking books anymore, Jess.
I love the
Your
books.
instructions, a little fold out map.
Love
your
the map.
God, that's
Yeah, damn internet.
or a CD, getting a new cassette tape. You guys remember getting a cassette tape and looking like folding it out and looking at the reading lyrics when they used to print lyrics? God, they don't even do that anymore.
Belly down on the bed, the whole
Yeah.
all folded out,
Right.
all along the lyrics. Oh yeah.
Kicking my feet with my little hands on my chin.
Yeah. I remember when that magnificent invention of cassette tape came out.
Yeah, was it? Were you 8 tracks or were you mainly vinyl?
Well, vinyl was all there was.
Yeah. When did 8-track come around? Was that in the 70s or was that in the 60s?
70s, I think. I remember when I got an 8-track player for my car.
Weren't they super shitty? Or were they cool?
Yeah, they were fantastic. Yeah. You could put one in and it would never stop.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They would like repeat. Like
It just played over and over and over and over and over again.
My grandfather had an 8-track player in his truck. I remember. It was pretty nifty.
I had a stereo that had an 8-track player, but I never really played with it.
Yeah. The first one I got was I had a Volkswagen Beetle, but it was a 6-volt. And so my dad helped me mount a 12-volt battery in the bonnet, and that ran my stereo. So when we'd go out in the hills partying at night, I could always crank up the stereo and leave it run all night without having to worry about not being able to start the car to get home.
Draining your battery. Yeah. I've done that camping before. Bonehead move. All right, let's see. What else did I play? Oh, last thing is like you were mentioning retro games, and I just noticed on the Game Pass the other day. I was just sort of flipping around looking for something. I had like half an hour. I didn't want to get too deep into anything, but I wanted to do a little bit more than just like a quick 5-minute shelter session. And I noticed, what is this old? Oh my God. They had one of my favorite all-time video games. It's NHL Hockey 94. I'm not even a hockey fan. I mean, I do watch sports, but I'm not like the biggest sports guy on earth or anything. But I did play the shit out of NHL 94 on Sega Genesis. Like I played that game so much. I don't know what it is about hockey, but it really lends itself well to video games, whereas other sports like it, a lot of them are great now, but the early adaptations were kind of difficult. But hockey's always been fairly successful in a video game format. But anyway, this NHL 94, for some reason, that year in particular really stuck out to the point where it was like where they were first innovating enough where things were becoming really slick and easy and looking good, but it wasn't overkill where they were tinkering too much and like killed the games. You know what I mean? Like now when you play Madden and NHL and stuff, you have to be like a goddamn professional. You know what I mean? You can't just like, oh, I'm just gonna play some Madden. No, you're gonna run an X post out, 94 left, like post. This is, you have to know all the shit and the lingo. It's like I don't know the I don't.
You just want to have fun.
I just
Tech
want to play.
Mobile, NHL hockey.
Exactly. And so they had NHL 94, and I played a few games and it was glorious. I'm like, this is what sports games should be with me. I don't want to dive into the philosophy of what sport, like why you need to run this play on 3rd and 4. What if it was 3rd and 6? You'd have to run this play and say, like, I don't want to have to analyze bullshit when I'm playing game. I just want to play. So it was great just to play NHL 94 again. Anyone who played that game, they know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's one of those games that kind of stands out in the series.
Yeah, well, and a hockey game from that era would have been able to take advantage of the big leaps in combat sprites, that the developers had come up with for all the combat games.
With the sprite.
A sprite is essentially, what lets you attack things.
Yeah, your 2D character and the way it's animated.
It's part of a programming code that makes what happens on the screen look like a fight.
Okay, that's weird. All right.
But since hockey is just
look it up more or something crazy.
Hockey is just basically swatter on ice. Baseball, where you run around on the field and beat your opponent with a baseball bat.
It's the Mo Cronin version of baseball.
Yeah, exactly.
Kill each other.
They should have made that. We got that for football,
my God.
right? We got like the Blood Bowl.
A perfect fucking Pit Boy game.
Yeah.
But Mo Cronin's baseball. Someone mod that, please.
MLB SWATA edition. Like do it like 90s style, like mid 90s. Okay.
You got to pitch this.
Yeah, the next time you're talking to Todd, tell him.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Todd, when I'm hanging out with Todd next weekend on his invisible jet.
That has never happened. Let me just, for the record, this has never happened and probably will never happen.
Is Todd when people ask if you could have dinner with anyone on Earth, is Todd on your list of people who'd be interesting to have dinner with?
I don't even know what I'd say to him, but I mean, yeah, probably, of course, right? Any of us?
I don't know.
As the
when
fans?
people ever ask that question, I'm always like, I don't know. I don't know what to say to who. I just feel awkward, probably. I wouldn't be able to talk.
But do we want to move into a terminal velocity? I think we have one on deck for today.
We do. Mr. Solior was very nice to check in again from Hoover Dam over there.
Yeah, in New Vegas.
All out New Vegas. So let's take a gander to see what he has brought us today.
Hello, fellow Wastelanders. Eric, aka Solior here, and I am back with another terminal velocity. This time I'm going to be going through the Hoover Dam. So I originally wanted to do Camp McCarran because I thought the base of the NCR would have plenty of good information. But honestly, it didn't. It's kind of surprising how a lot of these big locations in the game that you think would be a smorgasbord of info really doesn't have much. Really, all that it had was a couple of notes from Private Crenshaw, who apparently is the local class clown or prankster of the NCR. He's talking about how he has this friend named Jones who has this huge crush on this redheaded prisoner. So he set up to have her moved to a cell that was basically right where Jones was. So Jones could try his hand at seducing her, and said that if he doesn't end up scoring, it's his own fault. There was also a manifest of a supply shipment that they need from the gun runners. So I guess there was a little bit, but not really enough to brag about, really. So then I turned my attention to the Legion Fort, and there was nothing. So now I am at the Hoover Dam, and there's actually a decent amount of information here. So let's go through these terminal entries here. This first entry is at the visitor center at the Hoover Dam, and it's only accessible during the quest. You'll know when it happens. So this terminal is apparently off during every other instance. So it is from Ranger Grant, and it says, with the president's arrival today, security is running a final sweep of the area, making preparations. Only members of the security team will have weapons at the president's speech. This means that all troopers at the speech must relinquish their weapons beforehand. We will limit people allowed to see the speech to a small number to reduce any potential risk to the president. I've gotten word that the president is traveling with only 2 rangers, so our security team will need to be on full alert. I'd still like to log my concerns about not having enough time to prepare for this, but we'll do our job here today. Grant. This next entry is addressed to all security personnel, and it's about the security assignments for the president's visit. So it says, the basic assignments are this. Rangers will secure the perimeter and keep an eye out for any external threats. Additional rangers will be stationed around the stage and the crowd. Their primary job is to keep an eye on the crowd and make sure nothing funny happens. I want sharpshooters positioned at the following potential sniper locations. Visitor Center roof, Western Ridge, Dam Tower 1 roof. I want a radio up there to check in. Stay frosty today. Nothing bad is going to happen on our watch. Grant. This next entry is an engineering report from Mike Lawson. It says, we've received word that the president's vertibird is having some issues with the flight control computer. I've had some of the techs here examine the logs that were sent, and we think that we can fix the issue with a small computer update. Ranger Grant has given me permission to have one of the NCR engineers examine the vertibird when it arrives, as well as having our computer update the vertibird system after it arrives. Mike Lawson. There's a terminal entry here from the flight control, and it is basically saying that it's detected corruption in the software settings and that the flight controls have been compromised. So that's scary. Sounds like we've got a little bit of sabotage going on here. We've got an inventory report here in the Hoover Dam offices. So it says here, we've begun to take stock on what's left here, but my first impression is not much. The equipment here is in terrible condition and will require extensive repairs to get even minimal power production started. Looks like we've got our work cut out for us, boys. And this next one is titled No Clue What These Are. It says, Johnson, I've come across a crate with a couple of suits made of material I don't even recognize. Do you know what the hell this is? Looks like pre-war tech to me. The eggheads we have down here are mostly glorified mechanics, so they just scratched their heads when I showed it to them. Next one's titled Great. Just great. Remember those suits I told you about? Gone. Some jackass ordered a complete reorganization of our storage system, and I can't find anything. Wonderful. I guess they'll turn up sooner or later. And this final entry here is from a checkpoint terminal. It says generator diagnostics. And it says, attention, all structural engineers. There was a problem with the remote diagnostic protocol set up for the generators on the dam. Turns out that activating the remote diagnostics has a good chance to cause the generators to overload. Because of this, the diagnostic program is going to be disabled. So, again, not a whole lot here, not as much as I expected, considering it was the location of a huge war before the game took place, and also is the site of another one upcoming. So, I'm going to check some random places. Maybe we got some more good information at some of those. So, anyway, I guess until next time, I will see you all in the wasteland.
So they're talking about making the appointment that they have the vertibird issue, so the tech can come take a look at is that when they're programmed to like install a bomb or whatever? Is that what they're setting up there?
It's partly
to?
connected there. Yeah. So the security report and all the stuff at the beginning there is very much about the president's visit. and the situation report there, and why the vertebrate will be sequestered away for a minute to be worked on, and that they have permission to do that. So that's a big one there. The one about the flight control terminal and corruption detected in software, that is actually only for a Legion quest. So you're not going to see that unless you're playing for the Legion and you're there to disrupt things yourself. And then the last one, all the stuff about the inventory and the suits with the unknown material, that's actually for the Chinese stealth suit that you can find in New Vegas.
Oh.
Yeah, they got a shipment of them, and then they all got lost and shipped away except for one that you can find. I think it's in the offices upstairs in one of the storeroom areas.
Is it similar to the one in 76? Is that what it's a reference to? The one in...
I mean, it would be a reference to the one in 3 that we had from Alaska before, Operation Anchorage.
Oh, yeah. I totally blanked on that one. Right.
Yeah, it's not exactly the same. If I remember right, I don't usually use the stealth suit, especially in New Vegas, but I'm thinking like it doesn't have the same invisibility, but it's still good for stealth.
Yeah, I don't remember ever using it.
No, it's a little bit late. You know, I only go to the dam near the end of the game for the most part. Like you can stop by earlier, but I generally don't till much later in the game.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Solior. Hopefully there's a couple more. Is he strategically picking these places because he thinks these are going to pop up in Fallout TV show season 2 or something because we're going to New Vegas?
That's one of the reasons why he's been thinking about Vegas. Yeah. Plus we haven't covered them as much, you know.
Of course.
It's an open field. I think New Vegas is on a lot of our minds right now.
Yeah. Him standing on the crest of the overlooking the city there. That's where we're going. Well, I think that actually, if we're chatting about that, I kind of want to hear a little bit more about the show, Jess. So we've got a game to play, but let's play the game after a little bit of Iguanabits because I want to hear more about what you have on the show.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your Iguanabits are ready. Please come pick them up. I don't want to disappoint you, but I don't have any notes about the TV show. We did actually talk about it last episode.
Okay.
But yeah, so I already read the official announcement, but they announced season 2. So
that is the news that there is a season 2. And
right.
What was it though? You said they wrapped or something, and then we're guessing
it's got a release date of what, December 3rd or something?
They announced the release date. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
It's going to be out in December. They have all that announced now.
Merry Christmas to us all. Beautiful. All right, so let's just roll into the bits anyhow. Jones restock and new flavor. Do they have a new flavor?
We don't need the intro. Let's go.
Is it Fallout flavor?
Jones Soda.
You want to hear it? Wait, no, hang on. We can play it again.
Jessica, to the office, please.
To the office.
Jessica, to the office.
Come on in.
Your Iguanabits are ready. Please come pick them up.
They're getting cold. Thank
you. So, Jones Soda has a restock on Nuka-Cola Quantum. So, many of you know Jones Soda had released Nuka-Cola Quantum in the past, and it was okay. You know,
it was terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Well, there's 2. There's the Nuka-Cola Quantum G Fuel that I tried too. And that was the stuff that it was pretty horrible at first.
It's a powder, right?
After a week or 2, it grew on me. You drink it every day as your morning coffee.
You're desensitized to it.
Yeah, your tongue slowly dies in the face of all the weird sour raspberry flavor, and
taste buds have Stockholm syndrome with this product.
Yeah,
exactly. So the Nuka-Cola Quantum, this would have been in last week's show, but just 2 weeks ago, they re-released a large batch of the Nuka-Cola Quantum flavor with Jones Soda. And it's available to order. It's in stores, but it's available to order on their website, which might be the best way to get it now. And it's a new flavor. It is sour berry lemonade, but it's a new formulation. And they are selling it by the case. You can get a huge case. It's on jonessoda.com. Look up Nuka-Cola Quantum. And yeah, I just want to let people know it's out.
Quantum, but it's berry lemonade instead of the whatever blue Windex it was last time.
They've always done kind of a berry lemonade flavor for the Quantum, is what they're going for. Sour berry lemonade.
See, that sounds delicious to me. I love lemonade stuff.
Yeah, well, I haven't tried the new yet, but it's available for order.
Maybe we should order a few bottles.
That would be fun. We can cheers. We can have them. We can all have one on the show.
That'd be fun.
I'm glad that's back. For people who've been looking for one who missed out the last 2 times it was available, it is now available to order everywhere. Supposedly they made a lot of it. Big old batch of Deezer's lemonade.
I don't know if I want to drink that now. You just turned me off.
You don't like the battery acid in there and stuff? I mean,
I don't teaser so much. I've
Trust me,
talked to him a couple times. Yeesh.
after a week or two, your tongue will get used to it. Trust me.
That again, it's that Stockholm syndrome with your taste buds thing.
But here's the big real news. So we did get an announcement beginning of the week that the next season for Fallout 76 will be coming on June 3rd. So sooner than expected. I would have expected it after the Xbox showcase, maybe June 10th or something. But no, it's going to be June 3rd, y'all. So you have a week and a half to finish this season. The next season is Gone Fishin', Fission, Gone Fishin'. And it is, of course, fishing themed. We're going to get all the new fishing mechanics in the game. And the actual season rewards look pretty great. But so if you need to wrap up, we don't have anything special on the calendar between now and then. Maybe they'll slip us a little extra double score. Maybe. It is on the original calendar, so I don't know. Keep your eyes peeled. But looking ahead to next season, so we already talked a bit about the fishing update. It's going to be really fun. We'll see more once you jump in and play it. But there are a number of trophies to get. You can get the axolotl, the various axolotl per region, the special ones.
Oh.
The fish you catch will be affected by weather, and that actually includes weather machines in your camp. So if you have people's camps usually set up with, say, the new Radstorm weather machine or some of the other weather machines, you can get different fish with that. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
The actual season itself, so they have fishing themed rewards, as you would expect. They're bringing over some assets from Far Harbor for your camps. There are some fun things. Finally, a mystery has been solved too. So the very first reward you can get is a hanging dollfish. And when I say dollfish, you know those weird dolphin fish hybrids we have on 4? Apparently they're called dollfishes.
Dollfish. Wow.
Yeah, like dolphin, but with an SH.
Weird.
So one of the first rewards you get is a hanging dollfish. You can also get a cool rod, fishing net. Just going through the rewards, it looks like there's going to be some great ones. If you're into fishing theme in your camp, there's a boat fishing rod display, fishing hats, which I mean, gotta love those. Snorkel goggles. I'm sure some people will love those. Actually, I can picture you wearing the goggles and snorkel, Andrew.
Ah, sounds good to me. What I want is when you have the weather machines, you put it on the winter one near a body of water, and now it freezes over, and they give you a little ice fishing hut, and then you get to go ice fishing. Come on.
That would be awesome. An ice fishing shack? That's a great idea. I'm flipping through. We've got
Our tent thing. You know what I mean?
we've got a pond.
They don't even need a body of water. They could just make it the Fallout for survival tent with a little pond sitting next to it. It's sitting on its own water, frozen body. It just happens to be frozen wherever you put it all over the map, right?
That's such a
Wouldn't it be
cute
awesome?
idea. Yeah, a little ice fishing shack. I love that.
Come on.
But I'm really enjoying the look of these season rewards. Oh, we have the obligatory dinosaur on this one. Guess which dinosaur we're going to get for the fishing season?
Mosasaurus, Plesiosaur, Ichthyosaurus.
Got it in 2. It's a plesiosaur. For
Nice.
real.
Nessie.
Like a diplodocus. I don't know. I get confused by all those ones. There's also a cool sea serpent statue. If you want to make Nessie, you honestly kind of could. It looks a bit like Nessie. So good times.
That's really cool.
Yeah, those are the season rewards coming up. I'm just happy to know that we've got a time for it.
I'm already thinking of bodies of water I can submerge Nessie in to make it look like he's swimming around. Come on.
As far as other features in it, really the only big feature we know about for this update is, the whole fishing mechanic. Adding that mechanic, adding the new NPCs, we're going to get the mysterious, I'm forgetting his name, the mysterious Rodman, fishmonger, mysterious fishmonger, I think.
Dennis Rodman, I think, is the mysterious Rodman, right?
Indeed. But it looks awesome. So the good theme, good mechanic, and I'm excited to try it out and see how it goes. Beyond that, we've got some fun Atomic Shop bundles happening right now. We're getting more and more emotes lately. I think they finally caught on late last year that we really want new emotes. So we're getting the dance emotes occasionally. And now, what did we get for this one? Just some cool new emotes. I'm enjoying them all. We got the 5-finger fillet table too for Fallout First. Have you seen that yet, Andrew?
Yes, I did grab that one, but that's probably the last time I logged in. Was that like 2 weeks ago that popped, probably?
Yes. Yep. And then we've got the spacewalk emote is the new emote. And it's all alien themed this week.
I like the sound of that. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's really cool. But we've got little Crash Red Star satellite. got a lot of space themed gear. So they're pulling out all the stops to, of course, like always, make you spend your atoms before they add new stuff for the season. So we've got sales, but we've got real new stuff too. It's exciting.
Sweet. I love new stuff.
It's pretty intense, though. I have to say, going directly from a 2-week event with the Big Bloom and the Flowers to a 2-week event with Aliens to a new season, really, it reminds me of last year on the same time when after the Fallout TV show, they pulled out all the stops and we did, 5 events in 2 months? 5 seasonal events in 2 months? Now we're doing like 3 seasonal events in 2 months. Still a lot.
Is it too much?
It always gives you something to do. In my mind, the only issue with it is the fact that events can sometimes affect server stability. And as much as they felt like they made an update that made it more stable with the Big Bloom than it would have been otherwise, as anyone can tell you, the Big Bloom was one of the crashier events we've had lately. It's the kind of thing where in order to get it to run properly, and we didn't really talk about it much because I hadn't done it, only been out for 2 days last episode, and we didn't do an episode last week. But the best way to have it run stable would be to get there a minute or two early. Get there a little bit before the hour, at 12:58 or 12:59. And then wait and let it load in before you start running around and throwing things. And also, my biggest tip was let other people make the explosions. I know you want to have the big booms at the Big Bloom. You want to be the one chucking the grenades and blowing everything up, all the Beelzebubs. Great. But let other people do that. Just sit back and enjoy the explosions. Pick flowers, have fun, and you won't crash as much.
Oh, pick the flowers. Just relax, everybody.
Yeah, that was my opinion. So if it comes back, just kind of take that advice. And maybe we'll get it again this fall. I don't know. We do have Mischief Night on the schedule if we actually get it for the fall. So maybe we won't see it again for a year. But lately they've been doing seasonal events at least twice a year.
Are these seasonal events, are they a draw enough like people are hopping and, I got to do this? Is that, I assume that's why they do it to build hype and that's why you limit it. But they seem to have a new seasonal event every time you turn around. So they're not, they are special because this one only happens so often, but like, are they really special if you're just constantly doing seasonal events?
Yeah, they've kind of changed the attitude towards it. So it is a fun way to bring the community together. And they're called seasonal events because they happen in certain seasons. You've got Fasnacht in the spring. You've got Meat Week, end of the summer. Mischief Night in the fall as a thing. Those are real seasonal events. But they kind of changed the attitude a year or so ago where they're like, we want to have a seasonal event almost every month.
So that's my point, though. It's like, Fasnacht is special, but then, Fasnacht in August. And
it was my worry.
Again in November, then again in February, and then again. And, you're like,
because that's when everybody turned on Fasnacht. Between the mask drop rate and that year we got it 2 or 3 times in 1 year, that's when people turned on it. And so I did worry having the Mothman event so regularly. But I do feel, as some of us maybe play a little less these days than we used to for various reasons, that having an event available when you want to jump in, that's actually kind of cool. But for the people who still play 3 to 5 days a week, every week, it's probably a bit much. And it does take the luster off these seasonal events, I think. So maybe this way they're doing it now is better for the casual or occasional player. Maybe not as good for the hardcore grinder, especially if they try to grind out all the plans in the first time the event is up, like the Big Bloom. Some of our friends tried to get every plan this run of the Big Bloom. And now maybe they have it, but what are they going to do next time the Big Bloom pops up if they don't add a new reward, So we will see.
Have they taken anything that used to be a seasonal event like that and turned it into one that could pop in the every 15-minute list of events on the map?
Not that I know of. No, they've made some of the bigger events. Keep in mind, Rad Rumble was a new event we only got a few years in. Eviction Notice. The robot fighting event, which I'm suddenly forgetting.
Oh, yeah. Right.
But
I know what you're talking about.
Yep. Any of those, when they first release, they're put on a special rotation top of the hour, and then they're added into the mix the way they've been doing it. But they've never taken a seasonal and made it a regular one. Now, they've diluted the rare ones, the ones that were special for a little bit, like Treasure Hunters and stuff, too. They're just far too common. They're no longer.
Yeah, not special at all. Yeah.
Right. Whereas Scorched and Jingle Scorched, those are still a little special because they're only once or twice a year.
Yeah, you just got to keep updating and putting better carrots at the end of that stick, right?
Yeah, that's why they need
that loot pool.
They need new rewards. They need to make it so it's not impossible to get. Test Your Metal is the one I was thinking of for the robot fighting arena one. that came in at the same time as a special event that went on every hour for a while.
Test your
Oh.
metal. Yes.
Yeah. So good ones. But that is what we're looking at. So on looking at the actual calendar now for June with the new season, let's see. They do have a double score weekend happening. It does have Gone Fishing starting on June 3rd. And then double score the third weekend of June. Nothing else for a seasonal event in June. So we're finally going to get a month off from that to fish. And then starting July 1st, 2 helpings of Meat Week. We're right back in with the event. So we get a month off from events after 2 in a row. And then Meat Week coming up.
If we're tired of fish, give us meat.
Yes, exactly. Too much fish in the diet isn't good. Graham wants meat.
Mercury buildup, people. Come on.
What else do we have? Starfield update. So Starfield did get an update just 2 days ago. Ray, have you installed it?
I have not.
Is it content or just performance?
I'm calling it the red carpet update, which what I mean by that is this is kind of a tidying up, cleaning things up, a rolling out the red carpet for the expansion and fingers crossed for our PlayStation friends, PlayStation 5 launch may be coming sooner than people think.
Oh.
Not officially announced. We don't know, but I do think it's coming this year and probably before the end. I don't think they're going to put it all the way in the end. So we'll see. We've got some updates coming and hopefully a real expansion. But this update and what it actually did for us, besides a lot of tidying and bug fixing, little things that have kind of crept in over the last year after they added creations and added shattered space and things that people have found. But there are some features with it too. They did add very low display settings. So there are some new lower display settings so that you can play it on maybe less powerful devices, which on the past, on PC, it was a little bit hard to play Starfield on a medium to low end machine, but did not necessarily run the best. You had to turn on DLSS if you had cards that supported it or one of the other systems. But now it should run better on Steam Deck and other handhelds, which is what they're aiming for that.
In construction paper mode.
Yep, exactly. In super low res. They've also got some additions to creations, which is why I mentioned that. They're going to allow creations up to 2 gig in size now. So in the past, for any creations or mods even at all on Fallout 4, Skyrim, or Starfield, there was a 1 gig limit. They're not going any bigger than that. So big old texture pack, big quest mod with all kinds of characters and sound files and stuff like that. 1 gig was the max. So some developers some modders had to decrease the size, or they had to split it up into several different versions of the mod, little sections, this one's for the architecture, this one's for the streets, this one's for the trees, and do bit by bit. Now they've got 2 gigs, so they're doubling the size for that, which is great in Starfield because obviously assets are getting larger and they're adding in more voice acting and stuff like that. They're also adding bundling. So I mentioned it kind of when they brought in bundles as being like a collection. It's not really a full collection, but it is where a modder creator can essentially bundle a bunch of their stuff together at a discount, or Bethesda themselves can kind of curate mods that work well together. So when they launched this bundling, right now we have Kingath, who he just launched a new creation too, Watchtower. We'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. Kingath Creations are bundling their Watchtower creation and their McLaren's Outfitters creation, so that now you've got the 2-in-1, and it acts kind of like a bundle in 76, where if you've already bought one of the 2 mods, or if there are 4 or 5 mods bundle, you've bought 1 or 2 of them, it discounts the price of the bundle. So by bundling, you're paying less Todderinos, less Todd bucks to get it in the first place, like a 10% discount. And then if you already own one of them in the bundle or 2 of them in the bundle, you get a big discount from that too. So it should be a good way to buy them. The first one that Bethesda put out involved a couple of Kingath creations and the Spacer creation from Zone 79, which gives you some Spacers, some really cool armors with attachments and such. It looks really neat. So expect to see more bundles in there, and hopefully that'll let people save a little bit of money on the paid creations as well as get some chosen. Finally,
we did get an update from our intrepid reporter Lee. He's been keeping an eye on the script extender, and so they have released the latest script extender for Starfield.
They were working.
So it's safe.
Oh, nice. So you can update your version soon. So that's awesome. But it is mostly this creations thing and the red carpet update for what's to come. And maybe with the Xbox showcase coming up on June, we've got 2 weeks before that happens. That's going to be June So hopefully we get some announcements about stuff coming to Starfield, maybe stuff coming to 76 and other such games at that event.
Super sweet.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me. Did you add the Switch 2 GameCube information here?
Yeah, my son came up to me today super excited because I've been bitching for years that I want to play Wind Waker, I want to play Wind Waker. I still have my GameCube. I can hook up my GameCube and play it, which I do every couple of years. I'll hook it up back up and play it. But I just wanted to play because I heard they did a remakester of Wind Waker that was playable on, I think, the Wii U or something, but they never ported it over to Switch, which they did a lot of games that were on Wii U. They just automatically ported them over to Switch. And that's like one of my all-time favorite games. And my son is basically tired of me bitching about that. So he was so excited today when he got confirmation he watches tons of different YouTube news, gaming news and stuff like that. He's really into that stuff. So he came up and he was super excited when they announced that. The new Switch 2, how you can play all the retro games on the Switch, they're going to add GameCube games to that now. So, and I was like, wait, is it just going to be the same, or are they going to actually like res up and look nicer? And so, and he says, yeah, they're all going to be like looking nicer. So like, how can they do that? Wouldn't they just all look like they did? Like, I guess, I don't know. But I'm pretty excited, regardless of how that works.
Yeah, that'll be wonderful. I always enjoy when Nintendo, because they don't have as much backward compatibility natively. So I'm glad to hear they're supporting some GameCube games.
I love it. They have the retro game center, like you just click on the old control, and then they have like 50 retro vintage games you can play. And if you pay like the $40 pack, you get all of the old retro, old school Nintendo games, and that's super, super duper fun. So I was thinking, do they have that for like Xbox? Do they have like the Xbox where you go in here and here's all of our games from 1989? But I don't know, when did Xbox exist? That didn't start. When did they
2000.
start?
Yeah, the first Xbox came out with PlayStation 2.
So do they have? No, just
that's
like
what the whole back and path thing is about, right? Is that there are very few original Xbox games that are available to play back and path, but you can buy them on the store. And then there are a whole lot of 360 games. And of course, Xbox One and Xbox Series games are all compatible.
Yeah, but the Nintendo thing is just really nice because it's not like a one by one. It's just like you're just in and you have access to all these games. It's like Game Pass.
If you have Game Pass, you get a lot of them right in there. There are some bundles like the Rare Replay bundle. I've talked about that before, but Rare Replay gives you 30 games from Rare that play on Xbox all in one big bundle. So I mentioned the retro arcade, and a few people in our chat even jumped in to try some of them live. It was as mad at tennis as I am. I agree. I hate that guy. The blue guy cheats. The blue guy completely cheats.
That blue motherfucker.
This is kind of but you know, it's free with Game Pass, and maybe they'll add more games over time. I do want one more Iguana bit I forgot to mention from a week ago. There is now a free pack, a demonic bundle pack that's coming out for Fallout 76 and of course Doom, because it's a Doom themed pack. So what they did for 76, if you sign up for marketing emails, which if you're already signed up, you still have to go to the link, or if you're not signed up for marketing emails, you have to go to Bethesda.net and sign up for marketing emails, and you can get a demonic Mr. Fuzzy backpack and the Beelzebub head and outfit. So you remember when they did the sheep squatch, but with the red and black?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get that for free. Just sign up for marketing emails, or if you already get them, click on the link, and you can get your...
Wait, I get a backpack and the bee guy heads? No way.
No, the Bad News Billy, the Beelzebub head. I wish it was
I thought you said it was the Beelzebub.
It's not the Beelzebabies.
I can't say that. Beelzebabies.
But anyway, just a fun thing. And if you do play Doom, there's some free stuff for you too, which of course be appropriate. That's going to go through June 27th. So you've got a good month to claim any of that stuff. And I dropped the link in our live Discord chat. But if you go to the Bethesda website, just click on Fallout News or go to sign up for marketing emails and you will find it. But that's it for the bits.
Dope. All right. We got a game. If anyone is interested, we can step up for.
Yahoo! Mountain Dew! Oh, beautiful Sal was a stone-hearted gal, refusing to bill or to coo. But Clem was right smart, he appealed to her heart with that gal getting good old Mountain Dew.
Yeah!
All right. So tonight on Game Time, we're sticking with our theme. We've had a theme the last couple weeks, or last couple shows, where we have Jess had this awesome game. She called it Mountain Dew or
Or
Mountain,
Mountain Don't.
where you had to decipher if her listed beverage was an actual generic Mountain Dew alternative or one that she had concocted herself. So I've taken that up and run with it the last couple weeks, just doing generics of other popular beverages. We've done, what do we do? We did Sprite. Did we do something else in there?
Dr. Pepper?
Oh, we did.
What's that? That Dr. Pepper?
We did that
Mm,
Dr.
That's
Pepper.
that Dr. Pepper.
That's that Dr. Pepper. Yeah. So this week on Mountain Dew or Mountain Don't, we're playing Mountain Coke or Mountain Don't. So are these beverages, are these actual generic Coca-Cola alternatives, or are these fake ones that Andrew made up himself? So we were bounced back and forth, right? All right. So we'll start up with Ray first. So this first one is Coca-Cola, but cola is spelled with 2 L's.
That's totally fake. Lawyers
is-
would never allow that.
That is a real fake generic alternative.
Where? In what country? Because they ain't doing Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola
back,
make
girl.
them holla.
Call a back, girl. All right. Okay, Jess, you are up. How about Coca-Cola? C-O-C-O Cola.
I think that's probably real. A chocolate Coca-Cola? Why not?
No, coconut Coca-Cola.
That is real.
Ooh.
Coca-Cola is a real alternative to Coca-Cola.
Is it coconut or chocolate, though? Which kind of
I
cocoa?
have no idea. It's just C-O-C-O. So you would think it would be C-H for Choco Cola or whatever, which actually there used to be a beverage produced in Indianapolis that was called Chocola. It was a chocolate sort of beverage.
Okay, Ray. I looked it up.
Uh-huh.
Coca-Cola is an energy drink produced in Bolivia with the use of
Bolivia.
actual coca extract as its base. It's kind of like classic Coke.
Cocaine.
You can get it's a coca energy drink from Bolivia. So there you go.
All right, Ray, we're back to you. Speaking of which, Cocaine-ola.
That's fake.
That is fake. You called that one out. Good job.
Good job, Ray.
All right, Jess, back to you. Coma Cola.
Coma cola as in comatose?
Cola.
I don't want Coca-Cola makes me sleepy. I'm gonna go with fake.
That is fake. Good job. Ray, back to you. Cold Cola. C-O-L-D. Cold Cola.
Fake.
Oh, Ray, come on. They're blasting you out. That is indeed a real alternative generic Coke product. Okay, Jess, back to you. How about Chat Cola? Chat.
I'm gonna say it's real.
That is real. Why on earth would they have Chat Cola? Doesn't make sense to me. Ray, back to you, sir. Coca-Cola Dew.
Fake.
That's got to be real, right? That one is fake. Jess, back to you. Casa Cola.
As in cola in your house cola.
It
I'm
must
gonna-
be the Mexican house cola, I guess.
I'm gonna go with real.
Oh no, that one is fake. That one's
Fake.
the
Damn it.
cola. All right, Ray, back to you, sir. Crazy Cola.
That's nuts. Fake.
It is fake. You called that one out. And Jess, last one to you. Club Cola. Club. Sipping that.
I'm gonna go with real.
That is real. Good job. So our real ones were Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, Cold Cola, Chat Cola, and Club Cola, where our real ones. Fake this week were Cocaine-Ola, Coca-Cola Dew, Coca-Cola, Casa Cola, and Crazy Cola. So thanks for playing this week's edition of Mountain Coke or Mountain Don't. Actually, no. Here we have got this
Are
one.
you guys ready for the great new game show, Mountain Dew or Mountain Don't?
Forgot we had that cute little song.
We take a week off and we all go to heck.
Yeah, it just everything goes up in the air, man. All right, thanks for playing. I love this game, Jess. You opened up a whole genie box.
Did I open up a can?
Can of fake Pringles? Ooh, that's next. Fake. Someone said fake hot dogs earlier, right? So we're gonna do
Oh no.
meat alternatives.
Fake hot dog brands.
Yum. All right, so that's all I have this evening. Got a couple of shouts on our way out the door, but was there anything else you guys would like to bring up on the show this evening? All right, so let's get into some shouts. First and foremost, and now these are a couple of weeks old, so we apologize for them being slightly stale. But our good friend over there at Vault Tech Radio, Laura, is now happily engaged and made some announcements out on her socials. So we are very, very happy. Congratulations to Laura. She was an old friend of ours from way back in the day. When we first started doing all these podcasts,
Yep.
there was a solid core group of all of us Fallout podcasters, and Laura was definitely probably at the center of all of us in that group. She was quite the
I think we should refer to her as a longtime friend.
longtime friend. Susan,
It's, you know, I mean, I don't know that I really want to call her an old friend. She's pretty young.
ladies don't like being referred to as old.
I mean, people in general, really, let's be
Anybody?
honest.
I love it. Please call me old. So congratulations to Laura. And also, Jess was writing notes just about the same time I was when we both noticed it's Angel's birthday, or it was a couple weeks ago now.
Yeah, it was a week ago when we wrote it.
It was just funny because I guess we saw it on Facebook at the same time or something like that. So very happy birthday to Angel. And also, last but not least, very warm congratulations to our good buddy Dwight, who I forget how many years, but after a good long career, has now retired from the armed services. Which branch was Dwight in?
Don't want to
Yeah, I
misstate.
don't
I believe it
recall.
was Army,
Yeah.
but I don't want to misstate.
Okay.
Congrats joining all the
Yeah.
retired gamers that
It was-
he listen and participate.
Yeah. The one that uses ammunition.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ammo
one that-
Ninja.
Congratulations, Dwight. Yeah, he's a good buddy also from back in the day. I'll try avoid calling him old. Sorry. All right, that's all I have this evening. So in that case, we will say that you can find Ray and his No Man's Sky show at BBCISSS, which is the butcher, baker, candle maker in space. Ray, thank you so much for hopping on tonight, sir.
Good times.
Jess and all of her projects can be found at Sleep is 4T. Jess, thank you so much for hopping on tonight.
Thanks all and happy long weekend.
Oh, yes, Memorial Day. Happy weekend, everybody. Please be safe. I am dabbling on the Blue Sky, but mainly over there in the Facebook group. I know Jess and Ray hang out a ton over there in the Discord, so if you're looking to hang out with them, you might be able to catch them over there. The show can be found at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed. We will see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.